Today we'll be making a Ranni doll. She took me quite a while to make, but please enjoy.
Well then, shall we?
To start this process, I used 3 different dolls. One head, one main body, and then I took the arms off of another doll. Yes, that sounds gruesome, but here we are. I then took a drill and drilled a small hole underneath the armpit area to feed in the rubber band. After doing so, I primed and then painted the doll body blue. Taking those extra arms, I found a small rubber band and then took the other half of that arm and popped it on there and fed it through the hole. Taking an extra doll, I retraced the body and made some patterns for her clothing. After each pattern was created, I then traced it onto some light cotton. I forgot to record that process along with sewing each piece together. Now making her moon ring, I took an extra hand and a piece of wire and cut it down to size. Making the little pendant piece, I took some hot glue and pressed it down to make a thin circle. I made 2 of these and then I glued the 2 pieces together when they were done being painted. After the 2 pieces merged, I used some super glue and put it onto the wire. Now I was on to making Ranni's hair. I used some synthetic fabric dye and made a blue soup and used yarn. When it was done sitting in the soup, I realized, hey, that's way too light. So taking some chalk pastels, I rubbed them onto the yarn. To make your own doll hair, I will link a video tutorial below. Cutting the curled pieces, I used some Modgepodge and follow the video below on how to make yarn wefts. Now is on to making the doll figure itself. I used some cooking thread and glued it onto her body, let that dry, and then took some watercolored paints to give it more of an old look. The colors in this case were browns, black, and some rustic red. While she was drying, I took this fake leather that was maybe about an inch thick, sewed it together in like a long tube, and then took some felt tan and hot glued that on there. Taking some fake fur and a black piece of fabric, I hook stitched the 2 together. Then taking some white paint, I gave it this frost touch. Taking that long noodle before, I sewed that on there and then sewed on some clips. Now I was on to making her hat. There, perfect. Taking that pattern from before, I used it to make a circle and then used a hot glue gun to make frost. I then painted it all dark blue and then white, and created an ombre effect with different shades of blue. Now taking this fun glitter stuff, I used that on the rim of the hat and also on the base. For the cone, I used cardboard, that cotton from earlier, and some white paper. After the cone was created, I took this wire piece so that the cone would maintain its shape when bended. Taking leftover wefts, I stuffed the cone, and afterwards I hot glued the cone and the base of the hat together. After finding a good reference photo, I then started to sketch with a watercolor pencil the scars on her body. After sketching out the scars, I started to do her line art on her eyes. Next, it was time to start painting her eyes, and I had a good amount of different paints to choose from. I only used maybe 3 or 4 that I am showing you here on screen. Before painting, I used some chalk pastels and did the blush and shadowing on her face. Fun fact, Ranni doesn't have any eyebrows, so that was really weird for me to not put on her face. Now when her face makeup was finished, I then took those curly yarn wefts and started to super glue them onto her head. Now that everything is glued into place, I give you Ranni.